So I got fired, or I got sort of fired recently. I had put in 2 weeks at my job and get a message last night around 11 p.m. that I wasn't on the next schedule and enjoy my break before I start a new job.
Yeah.
uh
So interestingly enough, something similar actually happened to me. Last time I quit a job, but it was 100% self-inflicted.
yeah.
They told me I had the new job, and I was like, okay, I'll submit my 2 weeks notice right now. And the like HR person didn't text me back for like an hour after that. And then the text back was like, no, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, because I had to go through like a background check and stuff for my new job, which I should have expected. Like the
Yeah.
software jobs, that's like par for the course.
uh
And I was
it,
unemployed for a month in
it
between. It
kind of
stressed me out.
sucks for my existing job because we were already leaving it short-staffed. We were already
Yeah, that's
short-staffed.
weird.
It's now down to, I think there's 4 managers, and the goal for the store is 6.
Were you a manager?
Yeah, both me and my
Okay.
girlfriend were managers. We both quit, put in our 2
Power
weeks the
couple.
same day. Yeah.
Oh my God. Quit the
But
same day.
yeah, same day, same off the schedule. It's been nice. We've stopped fighting as much when we don't, work in a
Yeah,
stressful environment that makes us hate ourselves. It's great.
for
I'm
sure.
so relieved. I have so much time for Monster Hunter. Like I'm ready for this title update to drop.
Yeah, me too.
My
Oh my
new
God.
job I have an interview for my new job tomorrow. So
Oh, you don't have the job yet.
I pretty much have gone through all the steps. I have an in-person interview tomorrow. I had
Okay.
already had to do a video interview. So I'm guessing this is just setting up the scheduling and everything,
Okay.
which
Well,
is
you better bring the
typical.
heat because
Yeah.
you're boned if you don't get it now.
This is typically for these kinds of jobs. Girlfriend already has a job technically lined up, but it's kind of low paying. So
Well, this
it's not
economy.
bad. I'm losing a little bit of money. I had just gotten a raise at my job and still decided to quit.
It's not going to help you get that
Yeah.
$80 Mario Kart.
Yeah. Money's not that important. I'd rather have time to play video games so I can talk about them on the show.
Hell yeah.
I don't get paid to be here. I get paid to do things so I can play my video games.
Hey, and welcome to Game Talk. I'm your host, Connor Haynes. Today I'm joined by Mike.
Hello.
And no Ahmed today, until we cut him in later. He is on a flight to Japan?
Hawaii?
No, not Hawaii.
Oh,
I
not
think it was
Hawaii?
Japan.
I feel like Ahmed is like a pirate Yakuza in Hawaii type scenario.
That boy loves Japan. If he's on a flight, you can flip a coin, and if it's heads, he's on his way to Japan. But yeah, this is probably the worst episode in the history of this show for him to miss, because this was and it is our honor and privilege to discuss the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct today, which I have watched and
We
also watched a lot of
Talked
reactions
about
to.
the original Switch here as well, right?
The first episode of the show was Breath of the Wild, so the
Yeah.
Switch was already out by the time we started the show. This is the first time we've ever done
No, it
pre-release.
wasn't. Breath of the Wild. Hold on.
Yeah, it was.
Because I remember talking about the Switch.
Yeah, the Switch was out.
Were we just talking about it during the show? I don't remember.
Might have been just a game developers club back then.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we started as turbo nerds, and look at us now.
Not turbo nerds anymore. A software engineer and a Best Buy employee.
A Best Buy employee. Yeah, I went to college, and all I got out of it was sales.
But anyway, I was like hyped out of my mind watching this thing basically the entire time. Extremely good pacing. But I'm gonna kick us off with the first thing that they showed, which was the new Mario Kart World.
I just looked. We did have a Nintendo Switch episode. It was our second episode.
Okay.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild was a Switch launch title, but it came out on Wii U first.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think the Switch
came out March 17th everywhere.
Yeah, I think the Switch version was promised, but the Switch wasn't out yet.
I don't think that's right, because Ahmed never played it on Wii U.
The Switch came out March 3rd. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So,
Okay.
but we did have a Switch episode.
Yeah, we had a Switch episode, but yeah. Mario Kart World. It is the first open world Mario Kart, which not long ago I would have told you is a dumb idea, but watching this, I think it looks really fun. Did you got to see this trailer?
I did not get to see the trailer. I saw it. I heard of it.
So we saw a lot in this trailer. We saw some excellent looking courses, 24 player races. Well, not 20, 24 racers. I assume online it'll be 24 players. That's not like a crazy leap. Open world, you can like drive off the tracks. There's like a free roam mode that I assume it's Nintendo is going to have like cool secrets to find. When you do a Grand Prix, you're not just racing during the tracks. You actually have to like, you are still racing in between the tracks. You have to get to the next track to start the next race. All of that just sounds really, really fun to me. A ton of new characters. Off the top of my head, the cow from Moo Moo Meadows, the penguin, Spike, like a bunch of weird niche characters and like crazy costumes. Like we saw several different Mario costumes, I think a few different Luigis, different Peaches. Some really cool looking costumes that you're going to be able to play in this game. Maybe course appropriate, I don't know, cuz it looked like it was like a power up that they were using. But I don't know, I'm really excited for this. I think it's going to be really really fun to play. But it's $80.
$80. We're officially in the era where if you are working like a lower wage job,
Gaming's
like
tough.
like me, your gaming is becoming quickly out of the realms of the peons and more into the
So
the rich.
it's $80 for sure in stores. I saw rumors that maybe it was going to be cheaper digitally, but I'm a little worried that's copium.
Yeah, I've heard it. I don't know. $80 is that's a tough pill to swallow.
I won't be
Like,
swallowing it. I'm gonna buy. So there's the Switch 2 itself was announced to be $450 or $500 with Mario Kart World. That's what I'll be
yeah,
getting, and I will be getting a day one. This direct sold me, if I can get a hold of one at least.
you might have to fight a
But
toddler for it.
$80, and this is all coming June
$80.
5th, by the way, June 5th. So that's a modest 2 months away.
Mm-hmm.
Not very long at all.
A lot of money.
But yeah, Mario Kart World looks incredible. The thing I'm most excited for, and this wasn't shown at all, but I'm imagining like the Rainbow Road that's going to be in this Mario Kart game because it's probably going to be pretty big and like be above the rest of the map. Like, so you can see the whole rest of the world from Rainbow Road. And I think that'll be sick. And I'm imagining like, this is maybe a stretch, but maybe it's like a Star World or Star Road kind of thing where there are multiple ways to get to it from around the map. And you have to
Yeah.
find it. I don't know. Just some fun stuff I think they could do. I don't know if they will. But it'd give you a reason to do that open world exploration. So I'm excited for this one. That's a really good day one game. After this, they kind of jumped into some more details about the console itself, which were also exciting. I was very shocked. It is a 1080p 120 hertz LCD display. That HDR as well. And that
That's
like
insane.
shocked me.
Yeah.
That's a higher refresh rate than the Steam Deck OLED. That's 120 FPS on a Nintendo console is like kind of crazy to me. I'm really excited for that. We also saw the dock has a fan in it. The dock has Ethernet. Mouse mode is real. Like that, you will be using the Joy-Cons as a mouse. They're magnetic this time. Any other major details? Oh, 4K 60
4K
in the dock.
It's launching with a camera.
It's not coming with the camera, but it is launching with, the Nintendo camera that is going to have a lot of game integration, but I don't see a high adoption rate for that camera.
I think the camera is also being pushed as a way to like stream from your Switch, which every other console manufacturer has.
That's true. And this will be a cooler version of that, I guess, because it has the camera. But I'm not going to buy it. Oh, they also did say, I believe you can use any USB camera. It doesn't have to be the Switch camera. Any USB webcam will work, which is cool. Cool that they have it. They also like made a huge deal about game chat. That's what that C button is for. Did you see any of this, Mike?
I saw the C button for chat.
Yeah, so game chat looks cool. It is a voice chat in game. The microphone is. I was really hoping the microphone was going to be on one of the Joy-Cons. The microphone is in the console, which means it's going to be sitting right next to your TV while you're
If you're
playing.
playing on dock, yeah.
Yeah, if you're playing on dock, and they're saying that their voice. What's it called? You know more about audio than I do. Where it only picks up the voice, like noise cancellation stuff.
Ah, that's gonna be insane,
They're
baby.
saying it's good.
I
I
mean,
I mean, they showed somebody like
theoretically,
using a blender next to it in the
yeah, theoretically, like, you can cancel out of a lot of TV audio just through phase cancellation alone.
Yeah.
Like, you take the Switch probably has a processor in there that takes the game audio, splits it out to a different format, reverses the polarity, and then plays it back through the mic feed or
Yeah.
its noise cancellation algorithm, and that's how everything does noise cancellation, is it just phase cancels.
Yeah.
But it's it might work. I mean, we won't see until
I mean,
people get their
Discord does a
hands on
really
it.
good job of it. I'll
Yeah.
say that. But I will also say none of the features in Nintendo Game Chat are better than just native Discord integration would have been,
Yeah.
but it's Nintendo. But speaking of that, you can share your camera feed and you can share your gameplay and your camera feed at the same time if you want to. So you could actually
Zoom
sit down.
call, you can have Zoom calls.
You can sit down and like kind of like simulate sitting around and playing games with your friends in person.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much that use case matters to me, but Nintendo prioritizing these online connectivity features is really good to see. I really am happy to see that. I also, having the microphone built into the console, I think could really give us a renaissance of proxy chat games that we're already seeing on PC because everybody on PC has a mic. I'd love to see some cool, goofy proximity chat games on this thing. I think that'd be
Yeah.
really fun. Um, I think that pretty much covers the hardware for me. Is there anything else
I
hardware-wise?
don't think hardware-wise there's anything other than mouse mode, but that's gonna get nutty. Metroid Prime is gonna get nutty
Yeah,
with
yeah,
mouse
Metro
and people with mouse, yeah. It
yeah,
might make
mouse
me
mode is
wanna
gonna be
pick it
cool.
up because I can just play games with a mouse.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just plug the thing into your monitor
Yeah.
and play it like a PC game. Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah, that's it. I could play Nintendo games like I'd play everything else with mouse and keyboard. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in.
I don't know if you'll be able to use a keyboard, but,
I mean, I'd hope.
yeah.
I'd dream.
Moving on from there, I'm losing my timeline a little. I'm having trouble remembering. I think after game chat, we saw was this when we jumped into the third-party games?
Maybe there's sizzle reel of third party.
Yeah, I think this is when we jumped into the third-party games. A lot of third-party support on this. We're getting Elden Ring, we're getting Street Fighter. I mean, they had a massive sizzle. We saw Hollow Knight. We saw Hollow Knight Silk Song with its
Skongers are living right now.
2025 release date.
Skongers are huffing that copium. I bet you it'll be the same thing that happened to Xbox, where it's coming out this year and it didn't. They've
Yeah,
already been burnt once before.
yeah. I don't believe it. I will believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I will believe it when it's in my hands, you know?
We're getting Borderlands 4 is gonna be here.
That's crazy, a first party, a AAA Borderlands game coming to
Yeah,
Switch.
and if it was actually
Nutty.
Borderlands 4 footage, it looked really good. Like if it was actually Switch 2 footage they were
Yeah,
showing, but I kind of doubt it. Hogwarts Legacy is getting an enhanced edition. Uh,
uh,
we're getting a new Astroneer game. Did you like Astroneer? I forget.
I played a little bit of it. I've never really played it in depth, you know?
It always felt so unfinished to me, which is why I'm a
Yeah.
little mad that there's another game coming
I
out, like a
mean,
new
the original game had a DLC for it,
Yeah, and
so
even that didn't feel good to me. I never played that. It was called Glitch Walkers, and
yeah.
it revealed that the entire game was like in a simulation or something, which I hated. I hated that. And now they're saying like, "Oh, that was the simulation. This new game we're putting out, Star Seeker, I think it's called. This one's the real deal. This one's not the simulation." And I like, all right, guys.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I don't know.
We're getting Deltarune. Deltarune Chapter 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chapters 3 and 4 are new. Those aren't out yet. That's the Undertale. What is it? Alternate reality. Like, it's from Toby Fox. It's an Undertale sort
Yeah,
of thing.
it's Deltarune. Yeah, I've heard of Deltarune.
I
I've
played Chapter
totally
1.
touched Toby Fox games. Yep.
I played Chapter 1 and
Yeah.
loved it. I thought it was amazing. And then I realized he was
You
doing
know,
the like chapter release and dipped. I haven't touched it
yeah,
since.
I want to let out a dirty secret. I've never played Undertale.
That's crazy. It's coming up on
I
its 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, I wanted to, and then I looked into the fan base, and the fandom scared me enough that I don't want to touch it. It's the same reason I don't want to touch mouthwashing.
Okay, but if you gotta play
I'm
mouthwashing.
I need to. I own it. It's installed. I just haven't gotten around. Maybe I'll play it while I'm on this vacation.
It's really good.
Uh,
It's only a couple hours long, I think.
it's just I get really scared by fan bases sometimes. If a fan base is particularly rabid, I feel like if I tell anyone how I played the game, they're gonna like rip me to shreds. That's why I don't stream a lot of grand strategy games.
I would not stream
I'm so
Undertale.
paranoid.
I would play Undertale alone. I would
Yeah, I'm so paranoid of like talking about these games because the community scares me. Uh
So the big third-party bomb that got dropped. Not only are we getting Elden Ring, we're also getting a FromSoft original game called The Duskbloods.
And it's multiplayer?
Is it multiplayer? I didn't see that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because there's two people that walk forward. I think it's a multiplayer game.
I feel like you're reaching. I feel like it's as multiplayer as other FromSoft games. I would not assume that it's...
it's from... Okay, so from Nintendo of America and the Duskbloods website. It's a player versus... It's a PvPvE multiplayer game.
Really?
Yeah, so I guess it's like...
The Duskbloods.
The Duskbloods.
That's fascinating. PvP... Well, wait. Okay, but a PvPvE, that's how Elden Ring is.
Yeah, it's going to be... I think it's just going to support it a lot better, because it is a Switch game.
Yeah.
Switch just supports multiplayer better.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I'm in so far. It's Miyazaki. I'm down to clown. I think it'll be really fun. But it's a Switch exclusive. It's not just like... It's not just coming to Switch.
Leaving the Switch too. It's
it's a
like
Switch...
Bloodborne. It's going to stay there for the next decade.
Yeah, maybe forever. Also, it has a really funny T-posing Jetpack Man in the trailer.
Yeah.
That nobody else is mentioning for some reason.
It's going to be there forever. You're never going to see it, PC players. We're never going to see it.
It looks fun. Well, we'll have Switch 2 emulation in like a year or two.
Yeah, I'll give it like a year or two. We'll have Switch 2. Unless Nintendo decides to like slap them with lawsuits like they do everything else that's fun and joyful in this world.
But I'll play it on Switch too. If it's like, as long as it's not like a locked 30 FPS, I'll play it on Switch too. So that's exciting. Let's jump back to some first party stuff. We saw that there are 3 types of games. They made a big deal out of this. 3 types of games you can play on the Nintendo Switch 2. There are Nintendo Switch 2 games, like Mario Kart. There are Nintendo Switch 1 games that will play normally. They're just running a Nintendo Switch 1 game. They did not tell us anything about whether or not it would run better or anything like that, just that pretty much all of them are going to play. And then there are Nintendo Switch 1 enhanced games. So we are getting enhancements for I think they said ARMS.
ARMS?
Yeah, there were some free ones coming. This wasn't in the direct. Yeah, ARMS is getting it.
ARMS?
Mario Odyssey is getting it.
Odyssey I can understand, but ARMS?
3D World and Bowser's Fury. These ones are free.
What?
Scarlet and Violet are getting a free one.
Oh, hopefully they'll be viable
Desperately
games.
Needed. Yeah, we'll see if it actually works. But then there are the paid ones. The actual Nintendo Switch 2 enhanced editions. We're getting... The big one that they showed us was Mario Party Jamboree, and I feel like Ahmed will probably talk to this a little more, because I think he's the only one of us that played this. But it looked good. It uses the camera, it uses some of the new Joy-Con features, it uses mouse mode. It looked genuinely really fun, which makes me kind of glad I haven't bought Mario Party Jamboree yet, because I may just buy the Nintendo Switch 2 version. But these will be available as like a DLC. You can pay to get these enhancements. But that looked really fun. Bunch of new modes. All of that was cool. We're getting, as far as I could tell, we're getting Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Of course.
This seemed to just be graphical enhancements, but it was like uncanny looking at these games at 4K 60. Like, it looked really weird. I don't know if it was 4K,
Yeah.
but it was definitely 60 frames per second. And
Oh, it's gonna be so nice.
it felt weird to watch, though. But no frame rate drops at all from what I saw. Both, they're making you buy it, which I don't know if I will. It's got to be under $10 for me to buy these. Well, I don't even know why I said that. I'll buy the Breath of the Wild one no matter what. For me to buy a Tears of the Kingdom enhancement, it better be under $10.
I just read an insight. Apparently, they were gonna call it the Super Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, they were.
They
Yeah,
stopped because the Super Nintendo could not play NES games, and this one can play Switch games.
yeah,
So
which
they
I think
just
is
went with
fair.
Switch 2. I'm gonna call it the Super Nintendo Switch because I think that's it's a more Nintendo name than just putting a 2 in front of it.
I hope we get some like fun Super Nintendo looking Joy-Cons.
Oh, yeah.
What other... Man, I lost my train of thought. Oh, Metroid Prime 4 is getting a Switch 2
Course.
enhanced version.
Do we have a
like
release
you
date
said,
for Prime 4?
no release date, no.
No release date, so it's coming at some point.
But it's getting mouse mode. And get this, it is running... Metroid Prime 4 can either run at 1080p 120 or 4K 60 on the Switch 2.
For a handheld?
Yeah, no, this is when it's docked.
Yeah,
Only
okay,
when
when
it's
it's docked. Okay. Then
The
it has
best
to be
you
an
can do, you can
eGPU,
do 720p 120 a handheld,
which
though.
is fine for a handheld.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
That's
120
perfect.
frames per second on a Nintendo Switch.
I'm not caring if my handheld screen that I'm holding this far from me is in 4K or 720 because I won't be able to tell.
You've seen the footage of this game too,
so
right?
Small.
Like, it's gorgeous. This is like a really, like, maybe the prettiest Nintendo Switch game. And it's going to be running at 4K 60 on this thing. And supporting mouse
Oh my
controls,
God.
like, so I can go, like, epic gamer mode.
It's going to be so good.
That's
every time we think that, oh, Nintendo doesn't have a trick up their sleeve, they reveal, oh yeah, this is a handheld that's capable of going 120 frames per second.
No, actually, it ends up Nintendo has a better understanding of first-person shooters than any of the other console
somehow
developers.
Nintendo has a better understanding of what people want in a console, like a handheld nowadays, than anyone else does. Xbox is going to come out here and say, yeah, it does 1080p at 60, but boy, does it look pretty.
And then the other one they showed, it was Pokemon Legends ZA, which, it looked good. Higher resolution, better frame rate.
We really went from the Switch 1 being 720/30, barely, to the Switch 2 being, we could do 4K 60.
Okay.
I have to state how monumental of a jump in hardware specs that is.
I wouldn't hold your breath on getting a lot of 4K 60 on the Switch 2. I think it's going to be pretty rare.
Like 1080 120 is still cream of the crop.
I wouldn't count on higher than 1080 60 for like most games. I think most games 1080 60 is what we're going to get. And I'm going to smile and say thank you. Thank you, Mr. Miyamoto. Like
4K
which reminds
60,
me.
That's crazy.
I did skip over a hardware feature, so I'm going to jump back to that. Game Share. Did you see this?
Oh, I did see Game Share.
Game Share. DS Download Play. Welcome back. Like,
it's so back.
Owning one cartridge, and locally you can play with friends. But even bigger than this, online. It was saying that over Nintendo Online, for supported games, you could do Game Share, and only one person had to own the game. So that's like, I assume this is going to be streamed, but maybe it's similar to like what Split Fiction does, where it lets you download the game. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I can tell you I'm really excited for it, though.
I'm looking at the specs for the Switch 2. The Switch 2 will be heavier by like 8 ounces. So not even that crazy of a size difference.
It's the same thickness as the original Switch. Yeah. But you're not going to be able to use your same cases and stuff.
Dimensional wise, it is bigger though. It's 10 by 4 by 10 by almost 4.5. The original Switch was 6 by 4.
It's a much bigger screen though.
A much bigger screen. Like lengthwise, it's longer. Height, it's higher. Same thickness. How they've delivered that much more power.
It's actually
in
crazy.
The same thickness. They didn't even. It didn't get bigger. It didn't get bulkier.
It has been 7 years.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's still the thinnest handheld console we have because I don't think the Steam Deck even approaches.
No, the Steam Deck's gigantic. That's the Steam Deck's greatest failing, and like the only reason I would
right?
The only real reason I would consider buying a third party on the Switch 2 versus the Steam Deck is that thickness, but I still probably lean Steam Deck.
Like, I love the look of the Steam Deck, and it's nice.
It's so big though. It's onion
Yeah,
big.
it's it's almost 2 inches thick.
Yeah. It's
It's
just not. Neither of
it's
these are
almost a
pocketable
foot
though.
long. Like, I could put the Switch 2 in my cargo shorts. Like, that's fine, it'll fit.
Yeah.
The
You
Joy-Cons come
could.
off
Yeah.
too, right?
The Joy-Cons come off. They're magnetic
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah, then I put that thing slip that screen right into my pants, it's we're
Put
good,
the
we're good to
Joy-Cons in a
go.
different pocket.
Yeah, that's how I used to take my Switch around, actually. Since
Bro,
I'm
that's
a renowned cargo shorts enjoyer, I'd keep the Switch in one pocket. I always had that thing on me.
Bro,
You
that's
never I'd be at a
crazy.
college party, drinking jungle juice, and I pull out the Switch and 2 Joy-Cons and have a great night. It was
So
so portable.
we saw some more first-party games, and I want to talk about a weird one first. You probably didn't even see this one, and I can't remember what it's called right now,
Was it the
but
wheelchair basketball?
it's wheelchair basketball.
Okay.
What this one? Not even thinking about the concept, but one, this game looks ugly as hell. Like it
Wheelchair
looks
basketball.
horrible, aesthetically. I don't know what they were thinking, but also I don't want to play it. Like
Oh, wheelchair bas I'm playing it. I'm
you want to
sold.
play it? You think it looks fun?
Yeah, let me watch the trailer. Hold on.
I mean, it looks fine.
Metroid Prime 4. I don't want that. I want
It's Dragon
Oh,
Drive. Dragon Drive is what it's called. It's a 3v3, and it's like
it's
motion. It's
on
all
mouse
motion
controls.
controls. It's
It's on
using the
mouse
mouse
controls too.
mode, and I ain't about it, man.
Give me that
Like
trailer. IGN, just give me the trailer.
I don't wanna sit on it long enough for you to watch the whole trailer. Just know it looks like
Yeah,
poopy. Like it might be fun. Like I bet Jordan's gonna love it. Friend of the show, Jordan.
friend of the show, Jordan, who I
Because he
haven't
loved
seen in
ARMS. He loves these weird, like the weird one that Nintendo always throws
What?
in.
You mean I gotta what?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, dude. It looks
this is
so
this is ridiculous looking.
you wanna know one of the bombshells we got today. I don't know. Did you I don't
What
even
was
know how
one
to
of the
ask this without saying what
bombshells?
it was. Nintendo GameCube on Switch Online expansion
Oh,
pass.
that's huge.
That's huge. We're getting They showed a lot of games actually. Off the top of my head, there was Fire Emblem, there was F-Zero, both
Was
of the
Melee on
game.
that list?
What?
Melee?
No, Melee notably was not on the list.
That's crazy.
My cat just jumped on my keyboard. Okay, I'm still recording. Oh, that would have made me mad.
Oh,
Uh,
it's Rocket League, but with wheelchairs.
So on the GameCube, you've got F-Zero, you've got Wind Waker, Mario Sunshine, like the big ones. You've got Fire Emblem, both of the Pokemon games. What else did I see? Luigi's Mansion. Pretty much like other than Super Smash Bros. Melee, all Chibi Robo was on there. All the big GameCube games that you want were
Okay.
included.
I looked at the YouTube comments for the trailer and someone said Arms 2, no legs.
That's not.
That's
Not.
so bad.
I don't like that. They
I
should
don't
not have
like
said
this.
that.
Someone asked apparently in the chat if they could dunk and were proven later that yes, you can dunk
You
in the
can dunk.
wheelchair.
Yeah, you can
This
definitely
is
dunk.
crazy. This is one of those niche games that's just gonna be like Arms.
Yeah.
Hold on. Did they just release Arms but say, yeah, we're just gonna put you in a wheelchair this time? We're gonna use the motion control to do something gimmicky.
It's a weird game. I am not gonna
That's
play it.
crazy.
So after we saw the GameCube, actually, I'm saying after we saw the GameCube, I've totally lost the plot on what order these things came in.
Yeah.
But the next thing I have on my list is Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment. This takes place. Did you play Hyrule Warriors: Age of
I
Calamity?
did not.
It was reasonably fun. They're gonna really have to sell me on this one though, because I think the story of Tears of the Kingdom is not that good.
Yeah.
But it takes place in the past. So you're Zelda, you're Raru. I do not remember the Queen Sonia, and the sages, and you are fighting against Ganondorf's army. And that's like not a bad idea. But I'm not as invested in that story as I was the Calamity from from Breath of the Wild. So It's also not really a story kind of thing. It's a Warriors game. It's a Muso game. So what it's really going to be is huge waves of enemies that you fight through with really cool, flashy moves. And unlike Age of Calamity, it's probably not going to have frame rate drops. The trailer looked really
Yeah.
smooth. So that's hype. Hades 2 is coming. We talked Final Fantasy 7 Remake Intergrade, Cyberpunk 2077, Street Fighter 6, Split Fiction. Oh, we're getting Hitman World of Assassination and Project 007 from IOI. That's hype. I mean, I can already play Hitman on my Steam Deck, but being able to play those games portably, it's pretty great. Also, really, really funny watching them do a Hitman trailer for a Nintendo Direct because they couldn't show any of the actual kills.
Oh my god.
It was like people slipping on banana peels and stuff.
It's
Oh.
just crazy what they've done. We have all the first parties too.
Mm-hmm.
A new Kirby game?
Kirby Air Riders. And the Forgotten Land was getting an expansion. I forgot to mention that.
Cross World, yeah.
But Kirby Air Riders, that was like a really hype trailer, and it's directed by Sakurai. Which we did not, Sakurai was retired.
Sakurai doing a Kirby game, that's a big news.
No, Air Riders is like, he's wanted to do an Air Rider remake or sequel for a very long time, I think. So it's hype that he's finally getting to do it.
Yeah.
Just a really, really packed direct.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure. Well, let's just jump into it. The one more thing this time, and I was expecting 3D Mario. And I think it is the 3D Mario team because we'd actually heard about this before, but Donkey Kong Bonanza, a 3D Donkey Kong game.
Looks hype.
It looks extremely good.
As someone who likes terrain destruction, the fact that this game is just built on it. This
game's made for you because you like Donkey Kong 64, don't you?
Yeah, I guess. I liked it from the nostalgia standpoint. I'm not the biggest defender of 64, but I do like 3D platformers.
But it's been like 20 years since we got a 3D Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, it's been... Donkey Kong fans have been starved for years, honestly.
Yeah, it's been 10 years since we got a Donkey Kong game with Tropical Freeze. So
I guess we got the remaster, but
I'm pretty sure this is the Mario Odyssey team, and you can kind of tell by looking at it. It looks a little Mario Odyssey-y. Like you can tell it's the same engine.
It looks like they got some of the physics engine from Tears of the Kingdom, though.
I don't know, because there was destructible terrain in a couple areas in Odyssey, so maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful, though.
Yeah, it looks great. I like the new Donkey Kong designs. I noticed he's not dressed the same in every clip, but he also doesn't like none of the outfits he has on in the trailer are like particularly interesting. So it's hard to say if it's going to have a Mario Odyssey style character customization or not. I'd like to see that.
I don't like the redesign of Donkey Kong because I prefer the rare Donkey Kong, but I mean, I guess I could get to love him. This is the classic Donkey Kong look.
Yeah, it's growing on me as I look at it.
Yeah.
He's also like digging around destructible terrain, and he's like digging up gold this time, which I think is weird because I only associate Donkey Kong with bananas.
I'm just liking the juxtaposition of him walking through terrain and just punching.
Oh yeah, dude, he looks like a bull in a china shop. He's so
just
strong.
It's so good.
They've really captured his ape strength.
Yeah, you are playing as the king ape of the Nintendo franchise, you know?
He seems so strong in it.
He's him. He's the Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's him. For sure.
Yeah. Even if he does look goofy, Donkey Kong's always been this big brute anyway. Kind of like a lovable idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other. He's very expressive in this trailer.
Yeah.
And that's pretty exciting.
He's as expressive as he used to be. Even in the old Rare games, he was kind of like expressive.
I'm a simple man, you know? You show me a Nintendo 3D platformer, I buy it. You know, they've never really missed. So,
yeah, I mean, it is their specialty. If there's one thing Nintendo's good at, it's 3D platformers. I'm
really, really, really excited for that. I think Mario Kart World is the part of this Direct I'm most excited for, though.
Yeah. 7/17, so July 17th.
Yeah, so that's 1 month after.
1 month
it's like
after.
a month and change after. So that's a little over 3 months from now, 3.5 months. for Donkey
Yeah.
Kong. Really exciting. June 5th is only in 2 months. So that's like crazy soon for the actual
Crazy
Switch 2.
soon.
I do want to point out, actually, you probably haven't even seen this because you missed the. This is not something anybody's talking about. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. This is their. It feels like their answer to Astrobot's Playroom, where it's like a little interactive tour of the Switch 2. Sounds a lot like something they'd give you for free with the console, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But they're not. It is a paid title. A paid digital-only title.
Nintendo.
No one's gonna buy this thing, Nintendo. It looks like crap. Like,
Nintendo.
it looks terrible.
Nintendo.
I would have played it if it was free, but there's no world that I wouldn't spend 99 cents on this. Like, it looks awful. And it's one of those things, they could have maybe gotten away with it on a console that doesn't have any games. But this thing's launching with the entire library of the Nintendo Switch. Everyone is going to have games for the Switch too. Everybody. So I don't know why they even bothered. It's that was like the one thing I saw. That and Dragon Drive.
Oh, they're
They were the
bringing
only.
Hades 2 to the Switch as
Yeah,
well.
Hades 2 is coming. But that's kind of not a surprise, right? That's. Of course you're going to get Hades 2 on the Switch
Wait,
too.
was that a mech game?
Oh, Demon Machina. Yeah.
No,
Did
I
you
saw Arsenal. What is that?
Yeah, Demon X Machina.
Is it Demon X Machina again?
It's a sequel.
Oh,
Did you play the first one?
cool. No, I didn't.
This
But
one
you
looks
know
good.
I like a mech game.
I'm hesitant to. I don't know. I didn't buy the first one. I played a bit of the demo, and it didn't like enthrall me. I'll think about the second one. I'll wait to hear you talk about it, I guess, if you get to play it.
Madden's coming through.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, more people to get disappointed.
Oh, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4 was shown. Not that excited for that because the ones I cared about were 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But there's a Bikini Bottom area they showed, which I don't know if that's new or if that was in the originals, but I thought that was very strange. Like
Yeah,
a
you get Bravely
Bikini Bottom skate park.
Default. Wait, is that a Yakuza?
Yeah, it's like it's a 0.
Oh, that's hype, actually. The
Is it?
director's cut, too. Yeah, Yakuza 0 is a good starting point for the franchise.
Okay.
Like, if you want to play Yakuza, but you haven't played a Yakuza game, play 0. Play the director's cut. Just play it.
Oh,
0 is a fantastic game.
I must miss a huge one for me. Enter the Gungeon 2 was shown. Did we?
It got
I
like
don't
2
think.
seconds, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we knew that was coming though. This is the first I've heard of it. I don't actually like the look of it. It's 3D instead of 2D this time, which is probably a cost-cutting thing. 3D games tend to be cheaper to develop, but I don't know about it. It didn't have the charm yet. But if they can make up for that with like additional content or some crazy justification of the 3D, then I'm super on board. I love
Yeah.
Enter the Gungeon. I love that game. Yeah, I don't. Reanimal was shown. I don't really know much about that. It's like a who's it by? It's by somebody that people care about. It doesn't say here. Well, if you care about it, you probably already know the title. But Reanimal is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. That's exciting. Overall, banger direct. This is probably the best Nintendo Direct we've seen in years.
A lot of overwhelming.
Yeah, like. I haven't been this hyped. Like, I was actually, like, excited watching this, and I'm not a terribly excitable person. So I was joking on Discord that Ahmed was watching this at the airport, and I was, like, joking that when he saw the FromSoft logo come up, he'd be giggling in the airport to himself.
Yeah.
But I think this is as good as... do you have any final thoughts before we pass it over to Ahmed?
Not really.
Well, I guess we'll do that then. We will pass over to Ahmed to give us his thoughts.
Hello,
And we'll
crazy
be right back.
Ahmed.
All right, so hey everyone, it's been about 5 days since the Switch 2 presentation. I'm here in Japan, in my hotel room in Japan. Was not able to join Connor and Mike for the Switch 2 reveal episode, but really wanted to give my thoughts. So here I am recording just kind of what comes out of my mind right now here late this night in Tokyo. So if I miss anything, forgive me, but getting started with the beginning, right? So Mario Kart World. So immediately I was blown away seeing this. I thought it looked fantastic. Graphics looked great. 24 players, very impressive. And we always questioned on the show, like, where do they go from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Because in many ways, that is the Mario Kart to beat. It has countless tracks, endless replayability, and the answer Nintendo chose to go with is to make an open world Mario Kart, which is not what I predicted. But I thought it looked really good. The idea of driving between tracks, never would have thought of that, but it clicks. I think it's a fantastic idea. Curious to see how that really works. If like, is it like you have 4 courses in a set and the race just never ends, or does beating someone to the track give you advantage on the next race? I'm not really sure how that works. I know they've shown the game since I've not had time to look at any of the Treehouse directs or anything like that, so I'm just speculating based off what they showed in the reveal trailer, but yeah, Mario Kart World looked fantastic. You can play as the cow from, the Moo Moo Farms, and I thought that was awesome. Definitely gonna be playing as the cow. Um, what else? I just thought the game looked very impressive. I think it's a very strong, launch title for the Nintendo Switch 2, and it's definitely what they needed, right? If this thing launched without a Mario Kart, I think given some of the, I guess, more, abrasive points that have come up about the console and its pricing, would have been a tough pill to swallow, but this being there at launch, I think really eases things. So, really strong start with Mario Kart here. Then they went on to discuss the C button, the mysterious C button, and they showed that it's a chat button essentially. And what followed was what I remember to be a series of pretty cringy demonstrations of how it could be used. It was cringy, but I thought effective in showing what this thing could do, and I thought it looked pretty impressive. It's no Discord, and I don't think Nintendo will ever integrate Discord, but this is their version of Discord, and it seems to do what it's advertising well. I am questioning the kind of noise cancellation features they're bragging about. Like, if they can really, if your Switch 2 is docked on the other side of the room and you can just speak normally into the air and it can filter your voice out clearly, I kind of doubt that, and we'll see it when I believe it. But if it really works like that, that's quite impressive. So, and they had the little kind of like overlays, the Twitch streamer overlays, where if you buy the Nintendo Switch 2 camera separately, you can overlay yourself over the games, as you play them and see your friends play the games with their faces overlaid. It all seemed a bit goofy, but, I do think it's cool that Nintendo's kind of exploring these more modern social options, but again, coulda just went with Discord, not really sure why they didn't. Well, I do know why they didn't, it's because they're Nintendo, they have to do everything themselves, but I don't really think a lot of people will buy the camera, so I'm not sure um, how fleshed out those camera features will be in the future, but I do think it's cool to have a chat button to hop in and out of voice chat with your friends on Switch 2. So moving on from that, I think they showed the specs of the console, and I again thought this was quite impressive. I was predicting this was gonna be like a excuse me, 720p screen. It is a 1080p screen. It supports up to 120 FPS in docked mode, 4K 120 FPS, not 4K 60 FPS, not 4K 120 FPS, which I think is perfectly fine, especially for the hardware we're getting. And um, the I believe 256 gigabytes of storage, and it's enhanced storage, like a enhanced micro SSDs, micro SD card, excuse me. So you can't just stick any micro SD card in there. But I think that makes sense, right? Like, in the age of solid state drives being the norm, they needed a faster storage option. So you can't just pop the one out of your Switch and stick it into your Switch 2. Um, the only thing lacking, I thought, was an OLED screen, but the LED screen they showed, the games looked very good on those screens. Um, Side note, it's kind of really hard to just talk by myself. Usually I have Connor and Mike to bounce off of, keep the conversation going. I'm just kind of staring at myself in a camera and it's a little awkward, but anyway, I thought, what else did I think? Yeah, the specs looked good. I thought it the console itself, the kind of black language of the design with the colored accents, I really like it. They showed that off a little more, uh, and I just think it looks sleek. I know Connor disagreed when it was revealed, but I'm liking the kind of like more pro design language of this thing. Um, and the size of it too, right? Everything's a little bigger, the screen's bigger. I bet that thing's gonna be pretty comfortable to hold. Anything else about the specs? Don't think I can think of anything. They did show a game off, the Welcome Tour game, uh, and I thought it was neat until they announced that it is a paid game. I don't know what the deal with that is. I think that's quite ridiculous, them asking someone to pay for what should be a pack-in game. I don't think anyone's gonna buy this game. It has come out since that the game's only $10, but still, I feel like that's $10 too many, especially when we got games like Astro's Playroom on PlayStation 5 as a pack-in game for free. And this seems to be much less substantial than that, so definitely a very puzzling move by Nintendo there. Don't think anyone's going to play this game. Um, but then they went on to show a series of games, third-party games running on this thing, uh, and some things were quite impressive that they showed. Like, they showed Cyberpunk 2077 running on this thing, looking pretty decent. Um, I know, obviously, compromises have to be made to get this games running on this thing, but this thing is packing DLSS, it's packing NVIDIA custom hardware, so it can certainly punch above its weight. We saw Cyberpunk. We saw Elden Ring get revealed for this thing. I immediately noticed the choppy frame rate in Elden Ring, but it's cool that the game's on there at all, I think. Um, we saw a slew of other games. A lot of them kind of just are a blur in my mind right now, but Elden Ring and Cyberpunk stood out to me. They also announced the concept of Switch 2 enhanced games, and I definitely saw this coming, and I really liked what I saw. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom running at 1440p, 60 frames per second. Um, really glad that I didn't finish Tears of the Kingdom now with this coming. I feel like I'm gonna be playing these games how they should be played, um, at a higher frame rate and a higher resolution. What else did they show enhanced? They showed Mario Party, Jamboree enhanced. I thought that looked interesting. Kind of new modes, new mini games. Um, using the Switch to Joy-Con mouse functionality, which, as a side note, I think that's whatever. I don't think I'm ever gonna use this thing as a mouse. If I wanted to use a mouse, I'd use a real mouse and not like this awkward Joy-Con gripped to use a mouse. But cool that it's in there. They showed Metroid Prime 4. That was another huge game that I thought looked incredible on Switch 2, and that game will have 120 FPS mode as well, and that's exciting to see. Bet that game feels amazing to play at 120 FPS. Um, any other enhanced games that come to mind? I can't think of any, but I think the next thing I want to mention, this got the biggest reaction from me. So when this trailer started, it was very dark, right? Like someone was like holding a a corpse's hand, and I was like, "What could this possibly be? This is very un-Nintendo. Like this is bizarre that this is showing up in a Nintendo Direct of all things." And then I saw the words "From Software," and everything made sense immediately. It was like, "Okay, of course they're making concessions on tone for From Software." So it turns out the Dusk Bloods is a Nintendo Switch 2 From Software exclusive game, and I never would have guessed something like this being there in a million years. Um, yeah, my jaw was on the floor when that From Software logo came up. I think it looks good. It certainly gives me the same kind of Miyazaki vibes that Dark Souls and Bloodborne does. I think it is a co-op focused title, and that kind of gave me a bit of pause, but curious to see how this one shakes out. I was loving what I saw in the trailer, so gonna be keeping a close eye on that. And wow, we got From Software making Switch 2 exclusives. That's very exciting to me. Then they showed, I think Kirby Air Riders was in development. I don't have much to say here. I do think it's very cool that we're getting a new Kirby Air Riders. I've only played Kirby Air Riders briefly at like a friend's house when I was young, and I remember having a lot of fun. So it's good to have another entry in that series. And then the final game they showed was Donkey Kong Bonanza, a 3D Donkey Kong game, and this was really exciting to me. I've always been a huge fan of Donkey Kong 64. I know that game kind of has a lot of issues, but I played that game at a very formative age on N64, and I've been wanting a Donkey Kong 3D Donkey Kong game ever since. And now we're getting one. Um, I don't believe it's at launch, maybe near launch. Maybe it is at launch. I'll have to double check. But Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm very excited for this game. I can't wait to play it. I know 64 was a rare game, so I shouldn't go in with the expectation that this game is going to be too much like that. But a 3D Donkey Kong game made by the Mario team, I'm going to take it. I'm very excited for that. So I think maybe not the exact Switch 2 launch lineup, um, but the launch window lineup, I think, is very, very strong between um, Donkey Kong, between Mario Kart, between Metroid. Very exciting. Oh, I forgot one thing, actually. One of the things that impressed me the most about this thing was that they announced the virtual Nintendo Switch Online GameCube support, emulation support. So this is something I've been waiting for and expecting for a while. I'm very glad it's coming to Switch 2. And they announced a few titles coming, like chief among them, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. So stoked to see that. Definitely going to be playing that on Switch 2. And then they quickly flashed a bunch of games, and I think they showed Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness. So I'm gonna be all over GameCube on Switch 2. I'm so happy that this is confirmed and we've got games incoming. Um, and plus, along with the backwards compatibility with Switch, I know they say like supported games are backwards compatible. I think that'll end up meaning most games, but with the Switch games and with the previous retro emulated consoles like SNES, NES, N64, now GameCube coming to this thing, Game Boy. I'm sure we'll get DS in the future. I think Switch 2 shaping up to be a monster of a console. It's also getting a lot of third-party support, as we saw in this presentation. Um, and I I think that's all I wanted to talk about. I know since this presentation, a lot has come out about the pricing, what's going on with that. I wanted to kind of focus this just on my immediate thoughts on the presentation. We'll probably do an episode concerning the price and the tariffs and all of that nonsense that's happening right now. But for now, I just wanted to talk about how I felt first watching that Switch 2 reveal, and my initial reaction was extremely positive. I was like, this is going to be an incredible Nintendo console, a great launch. And obviously, some of that excitement started to wane a bit with the price getting revealed and then the potential massive price increase in response to the tariffs that were announced. But we'll get into all of that. But I think 449 is a reasonable price for the Switch 2 in 2025. I don't really know what people are saying online about that. I think maybe there's some controversy over that, but I think 449 is a good price for this thing. $500 with the Mario Kart bundle. Again, it's a little on the high side, but certainly within the realm of possibility. The thing that shocked me was the $80 price point on Mario Kart and potentially future Switch 2 titles. That is that is quite surprising. And I obviously am against the $80 price point, but I do think that people are going to buy it, and I think that this will embolden other companies like Sony and Microsoft and third parties to normalize the $80 price point. So, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe there will be a strong pushback against $80 because it feels like the jump to 70 was just uh, yesterday, even though it's been around for a few years. But with everything rising in price, I don't really know if there's anything we can do about the $80 price point. But we'll see if the consumer reacts strongly to it. Maybe Nintendo will back down, but I doubt it. But price discussion aside, um, very excited to own this thing. Very excited to play Mario Kart World on day one, and then certainly going to be picking up Metroid Prime 4 and Donkey Kong Bonanza. Bonanza. Am I saying that right? Donkey Kong Bonanza. Going to be picking that up down the line. But yeah, I think those are my quick and dirty thoughts on Switch 2. And now I'm going to go back to enjoy my vacation in Japan. Bye.
Huh. I never thought about it like that.
Wow, that's insane. I can't
What an
believe you said that.
insightful
Whoa,
What an insightful commentary. I
you're
don't know if
lucky
I would
this
have
isn't the
used
police.
I don't know if I would have used the swears.
It's so daring.
So passionate as always.
Yeah.
And I guess now we'll move over to games we've been playing. I feel like we've been playing the same game.
What game? Monster Hunter?
Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so I'm
I
not
played
gonna
with you
lie
for
to
a
you.
bit for the first time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, Connor. As I was playing through Monster Hunter Wilds recently, I was eyeing up yet a game on the Steam store that's not on sale yet, but it's $29.99, and it has a full expansion. And I
Monster
was
Hunter Rise
eyeing it up.
Sunbreak. Yep.
No, Wilds. I was eyeing up World.
You're eyeing World
I was eyeing
Iceborne.
World up. Yeah, World and Iceborne.
They're both really good.
I've been craving more,
Yeah.
and I know that Wilds will take a while before it's finished, and I want more Monster Hunter.
You have a Switch, right?
I do. It's dead. Probably
Monster
Joy-Con
Hunter
drifted.
Generations Ultimate is on sale for $10 on the Switch right now.
Ooh.
That is that's the biggest Monster Hunter game. Like the most content. It is a little more old school than World is though.
I'm gonna say I don't want to venture back into the old school Monster Hunters because
Okay. Totally get that.
I like the modern conveniences. I know what it's like back then, and I do not. I don't want to deal with having to worry about how many whetstones I have.
Yeah, they're so cheap. You can just
Yeah, it's just that's
but
just
yeah,
at that
you do have
point,
to
it's
worry
just
about
painful.
it. Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that slotted an adept gem into one of my pieces of armor just so I didn't have to worry about hot and cool drinks anymore. I literally I did that for a reason.
You might not like old school Monster Hunter. Then,
I carry Adept and Shockproof as my 2 1 gems.
I'm stoked to hear you're in love with the franchise.
Oh,
though.
It's so good. Wilds is increasing. I'm increasingly thinking about how to optimize my build paths. But the weapon swapping sucks. Like I want to say, because I cannot optimize for both weapons I carry. I can optimize one. I can try. It's real hard to optimize. Oh, I mean, Greatsword and Charge Blade are very similar.
You can do that.
Yeah.
2 hunting horns I've seen being very popular to keep a bunch of buffs.
I've seen people use 2 of the same weapon.
But one I've seen is doing a status effect build and carrying one paralysis weapon and 1 sleep weapon. Or was it poison?
I carry a poison Charge Blade right now.
Paralysis and poison, I think it was, because there's an armor skill that like makes you do additional damage after paralyzing something.
Ooh.
And then it does it again after poisoning it. So you can get both of those buffs and do massive amounts of damage.
See, that's what my girlfriend especially has the Lalabarina dual blades.
Ooh, yeah.
I specialize in I figured out the charge blade. I figured it out. I figured out my intended process, and it's use use load shells or a magazine jewel, get 2 points in load shells, get max files,
Yep.
proceed to beat face in until face explodes.
Yes.
They go to sleep. Continue beating them.
I'm
Hopefully
curious
stun
to
lock
see.
them.
Did we talk last week? Did we talk about the title update 1 coming?
I don't think so. I think we vaguely touched about it. It comes out tomorrow night,
Yeah, tomorrow at 11.
tonight. Yeah,
So I'm probably not going to get to play it. We're getting 2 new monsters tomorrow. We're getting
we're getting
Mizitsune and Zoshia. A month
Zoshia.
later, we're getting Arch-Tempered Ray Dao. So
Yep.
that alone, that's a huge content drop. Arch-Tempered Ray Dao is going to be a very hard fight compared to what is in
Yeah,
the game
and
right now.
then next title update, we are getting Lagarcus.
Well, yeah, Lagiacrus, yeah.
Lagiacrus, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not actually, yeah, the pronunciation on that one's a doozy. I'm
Yeah,
not sure if that's right.
we're getting another Leviathan, which is
Yeah,
insane.
so that's hype. And probably, but more important than any of that to me was something they announced a little later, which is that there was like a letter from the director, and we are getting 8-star hunts. So currently these are 7 stars. Every Apex is getting an 8-star hunt, and Gormagala is getting an 8-star hunt, and Tempered Mizitsune. Or their
Yep.
their tempereds are going to be 8-star hunts. So right now the end game is pretty much just Tempered Arkveld. That's
Yeah.
the only like proper 8-star hunt in the game.
So we're gonna get a bunch of
A
8-star hunts.
bunch of new end game content. Yeah, we're getting the Gathering Hall. We're getting the cats are finally cooking for us again. That's huge for me.
It's gonna be it's a big deal. The game's finally coming together.
And
And
Zoshia, the Zoshia armor looks so good.
and this is only title update 1.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get at least 3. I
Yeah.
would bet 4 because I bet
3
we're
or
gonna
4.
get we're gonna get Arch Tempered of every Apex. At least.
Yeah. They might just do that through event quests without even tying it to title updates.
They might. That might happen.
Yeah, let's like they'll just like, hey, coming soon next month is Arch Tempered Uthduna.
But still, that's essentially 3 more hunts.
Yeah.
Because Arch Tempered, there are going to be new moves. They're going to be much harder. There's going to have way more HP. And just the rebalancing we're getting in general is really hype. I'm really hoping Charge Blade gets a little bit of change. Because I'm
A little bit of buff or a little bit of nerf.
I think it should be a side grade, but right now, historically, there are a couple of different ways to play Charge Blade, which is like in Rise, you were choosing between Savage Axe or super amped element discharge spam, typically.
Yeah.
And in Wilds, Savage Axe is far and away your best damage dealer.
You just pop Savage Axe and then
There's-
continuously element discharge to the
Yeah.
face.
There's
To
very
just
little
deal
reason.
impact damage.
I do SAED because it looks cool, not because it's optimal.
Yeah.
It's basically never optimal. And so I think it could use a little bit of a buff.
I think it could use a little bit of a buff to super amped.
And if that comes at the cost of weakening Savage Axe, I would take that.
Yeah.
I just for the variety.
I'd like sword mode to also get a little bit of love.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad right now, but it could use some tuning. And they said Hammer's getting some buff.
Yeah.
Just stuff in general, and that's very welcome.
I don't think they're gonna do. I think Greatsword's perfect as is though. Like it feels so risk rewardy, but boy does it already do what it needs to do.
Greatsword is very likely to not get any changes.
Yeah, it's
Greatsword is
perfect.
actually the weapon they build the entire game around. They build
It's
the Greatsword
so perfect.
first. Yeah.
Everything about the Greatsword. They even nerfed True Charge Slash on the Greatsword with this game, so people would stop spamming it.
Yeah.
I still use it. It's still bread and butter if I can get it off. But there's so much more incentive to use all its other tricks, like its offsets, its perfect guards.
We also have some performance increases coming with Title Update 1.
Bless.
We're getting a new direct storage version, which I think is going to be huge, and apparently some VRAM optimization.
That's gonna be perfect. That's all
Yeah.
we really needed.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like this
So,
game's good. It's a good game.
I think it is. I can say confidently that by the time, unless they do something insane to like blunder the Master Rank expansion, I think this is going to be the best Monster Hunter game.
It's hard to like compare a Monster Hunter game at release.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Because the previous games have the benefit of an MMO expansion path line, you know?
Yep. Yeah, I'm
Like,
excited to
World
hear,
had
like
2-3 years of patches and title updates.
I'm excited for you to jump into World. I actually have a lot of World in-game stuff I still need to do once you get to the end of
Yeah.
Iceborne. So I'd be happy to hop on that. It's very grindy, so I think we could hop on that together once you get to it.
Yeah,
But I
I
would
already
wait
have
for it to
a
go on sale because that game goes on sale constantly. Wait for the
Yeah.
Steam Spring Sale or
Yeah,
whatever.
well, Steam Spring Sale already happened.
Steam Summer Sale, whatever.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the summer sale. I
It
already
goes
have
on
a
sale
former
frequently.
coworker who I've been playing through, Wilds with as well.
Mhm.
Former roommate, coworker,
Yeah.
all
Yeah, and you were
kinds of
playing through it
things.
with your girlfriend as well, right?
Yeah, I've been playing through it with my girlfriend. We can't play World together, unfortunately. I can dream,
Oh, because she's on a
but
PlayStation?
yeah, she's on PlayStation.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Wilds really
it's
is
something I wanna touch. I wanna play through it.
that's really good. I mean, you see why I couldn't stop talking about it last year.
Yeah, it's so good. Like,
It's
Wild's so good.
it's so good.
I
You'll
every time I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting bored of fighting this monster." I'm like, "Wait a second. No, I'm not. I'll just pick up a new weapon." You
No,
know?
and you've got all of World and Iceborne and Rise and Sunbreak still ahead of you if you wanna
At
play
this
them.
point, I'm thinking of, like, do I wanna go through World with Charge Blade, or do I just wanna try something entirely different?
I would highly suggest trying something totally different. Like,
Yeah.
I played through World twice, the base game. I played through it once with the Switch Axe and once with the hammer. Both
Yeah.
were immaculate experiences. I really like both of those weapons. World
I
is really, really good.
It's gonna suck going back, though, because they don't have the focus system, which is incredibly forgiving on keyboard and mouse.
It's incredibly forgiving in
I
general. I've
I
been
think it is one of the only reasons I consistently hit a lot of abilities with KBM.
It's balanced around that though. Like,
Yeah, it makes keyboard mouse viable. Otherwise, I just have to use a controller because I would have to be pinpoint accurate with where I'm facing when I start a move.
cause you will miss. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Here, I can just focus and kind of spin around, and I will at least hit the last strike of a move.
Well, that's the
It
other
makes
thing.
keyboard and mouse usable.
The 8-star quests are getting wound resistance. The 8-star
Ooh.
tempered so that they're not gonna wound as easily. And I don't know if they're going to stagger the same way. So like generally I think that's just a really good end game
Yeah.
difficulty increase. Cause it does, especially
I mean,
multiplayer.
wounds are just free damage right now, but
Yeah.
at the same time, the focus system and just the ability to turn around mid animation, immaculate. Just that quality of life means that every weapon is now more viable and easier to use mechanically.
Yeah.
Like, if you commit to a true charge slash and you miss, you can still kind of turn around and hit the last hit that matters
Yeah.
somewhere. You didn't have that in previous games. If you whiffed, you whiffed. You were done.
Yeah. Yep. I can attest that. I've been playing For You, and I'm still trying to metabolize this, like the difficulty conversation, because Wilds is probably the easiest Monster Hunter game so far. It's either Wilds or Rise, base game.
Yeah.
Sunbreak gets pretty hard, but Rise base game is pretty easy. But I am in high rank in For You. I actually beat my white whale. It's a monster called Azure Rathalos, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a blue Rathalos that is way stronger. And 10 years ago, that was the wall I hit that I could never beat. In 90 hours, I never beat Azure Rathalos. Now I'm 40 hours in my new save on For You, and I finally beat Azure Rathalos.
Yeah.
And it was easy,
It's
which
just
is
the
funny.
skill. It's a lot of what comes to it is that a lot of these people who have jumped in the wilds have either started with worlds, because I
Yeah.
want to say 75-80% of the player base started with worlds.
It's second Monster Hunter game
Yeah,
syndrome. I will say the
it's
older
your second
games,
game, it's gonna be easier.
the difficulty curve is kind of all over the place, because I do keep hitting like, oh, this monster is really hard, I cannot beat it. Go upgrade my gear, and it's like a huge pain to upgrade your gear. And then I'll beat that monster, and then there'll be like 3 or 4 monsters in a row that are like a complete cakewalk.
Yeah,
And then I'll hit another monster I cannot beat. And I think that's fine. But I
I
think
want to say last night I carded twice on a Gravios because the
On a
first time
Gravios?
was entirely my fault. I got hit by his laser, and was
Yeah.
mid-charge, and I
was
didn't
like a
expect him to
one-shot
turn
the
and hit
time,
me.
too.
Yeah, I was pretty low. But the second time, he hit me with an attack. I stumbled and was in the getting up animation, and he
Yeah.
lasered me. There was nothing I could do. I was gonna cart. I
Gravios
was
is a really fun fight.
trapped. He's I hate him so much.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but the little stars, the little pink stars in Wilds make a huge difference in how difficult the monster is.
Yeah,
Like
they do.
a 1-star Arkveld is going to be a pushover. A 5-star Arkveld is probably harder than a tempered Arkveld.
I think this is a 3-star Gravios.
Yeah.
So
like a 5-star tempered Rathalos is still like a really fun fight for me.
I think the Gravios would have been easier if I would have remembered before I went in to put Mind's Eye on my greatsword.
Yeah.
But I do not keep Mind's Eye on my greatsword
so you were
because it's
bouncing.
only for
That's tough.
I had my charge blades, so that wasn't as bad, but I didn't have the big cut off parts weapon that I usually keep around.
Yeah.
It sucked. I only put Mind's Eye on my greatsword when I'm going against Gravios because I could put a better gem there.
I'm so excited to hear you talk about World now. Ugh.
Yeah,
I love these
get
games.
into it.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I've been digging. I've been digging deep. I'm excited to see what they bring in. Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna play for the next week. Because if you think for a second I'm not gonna be like grinding Mizutsune at Tempered Mizutsune and Zoshia into the dirt, you got another thing coming. Like starting tomorrow at 11.
That's literally all I'm gonna do tomorrow.
It's
is
gonna be
grinding
my
those.
life. I don't know when the tempered 8-stars are coming. I think that's actually gonna be in like a month. I think they might be coming with Arch Tempered Raydao.
Yeah.
Which I'm also extremely hyped for. Like I know Arkveld is technically the flagship, but Raydao is like our guy, right?
Raydao's way cooler. Everything about Raydao.
He's the one like every Monster Hunter game. No, I can't even say that. Typically the flagship is the one that everybody attaches to, like, and like gets to show up in the later games. But that's not really what happened with World. With World, Anjanath was the big monster people loved in World. Nergigante hasn't come back, I don't think, which was the flagship. And in Wilds, I really think it's going to be Raydao. I think Raydao is going to be in future games. He's just too cool. He's so cool.
So cool. Out of all the Apexes, Raydao is the one I think about the most.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't, there's a monster you haven't seen yet called Zinogre. Zinogre is like a lightning wolf kind of thing. And I really hope Raydao doesn't crowd Zinogre out, because Zinogre is actually the most popular Monster Hunter monster. He's like the #1 fan favorite. And I really hope he shows up in Wilds. I think he will in a title update.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
And they do think of it like that. Like they don't like to include too many similar monsters just because fans like them. And I like that. I like that we're not seeing the same exact monsters over and over and over again, other than Rathalos and Rathian.
Yeah, other than a Rathalos. But those are just franchise namesakes. If there's
They're
not
like
a
the
Rathalos
Hello World of Monster Hunter. Like
if there's not a Rathalos in Monster Hunter, it's not a Monster Hunter game.
Exactly. I think that does it for us, though.
I'm excited to see what Elders they put out.
I don't know if they will. I mean, Zoshia is probably essentially an Elder Dragon.
Yeah,
but
Zoshia is an Elder.
I don't know if we're gonna get Elder Dragons for Wilds until Master Rank. They might hold off until then. Because they did say during development they kind of want to hold off on it. Anyway, have you played anything else?
No, I haven't played anything else.
Me neither. Just
kind of
Wilds.
been at work, but next week I'll have a lot of things to share.
I tried 33 Immortals. I only played a couple rounds of it, but that's that big 33-player roguelike online multiplayer. And I really liked it. I'll probably... I don't know when I'll get a chance to play it again. I want to talk about it more on the show, because I do think it's like a really cool idea. But I just haven't really played enough. All I can do now is say, like, if you have Game Pass, you should check it out. Easy recommendation. And I think that about does it for this week. Thank you for listening. Please like, rate, and review on Apple Music, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify. Follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. It's at Podcast Game Talk, I believe. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next week.
Yep. See you guys next week.
Bye.